basically like trainee versus trainee.
Our students learn how to build games using engines like Unity and Unreal, but much of our focus is on building an engine, so the math, the physics, a little bit of AI, and just bringing it all together, mostly in C++ and some C#.
In this program, they are getting different kind of skills. They can be a DBA in the Oracle or in SQL. They can work in the data warehousing. They are getting skills to develop the apps for the Android or iOS environment. So you name a skill, you can find those skills here.
Humber, I think the most valuable thing I've learned is to communicate, honestly. I think it has been a really enlightening and exhilarating experience studying at Humber. I was an international student, well, I still am, and it was really hard for me. Like earlier, it was when I came to Canada 2 years ago, it was new weather, new people, and new place. You didn't know anyone. And it was hard, but as soon as I started at Humber, I think I got back on the track. I started focusing on my studies. I think Capstone Project was the main turning point for me. Capstone Project introduced me to a lot of employers, like a lot of companies, and a lot of, well, individuals in general, because we had to work as a team to deliver something. It was on time in the guideline of the real software development. So that is where I actually learned how the real software development actually was. And I think that was really helpful for me in developing my skills.
Okay, so today's main purpose of this event was call for the Capstone Project. This is an industry project which a team of about 4 graduating students from the program Information Technology Solutions, which is a 2-year program, or Enterprise Software Development, which is a 1-year program. They would be completing in their final semester, which would be starting in January and finishing in April. So project could be any of the following. It could be anything related to the Oracle database administration, data warehousing, mobile application development using Android or iOS, web application development using any of the technology, PHP, ASP.NET, Java, JSP, or any other software development, database development application which you can think of. Then in the month of March, we will be having a project showcase event. And at the end of the project, they would be providing a feedback to the faculty, what was their experience working with the team and the students.
The Capstone Project was another great opportunity for us to understand the industry standards here in Canada. We learned how to deal with stakeholders, understand product requirements, and deliver quality products. In addition to many other things, we learned to take responsibility for our work and to meet timelines. It is at this capstone presentation that I met my current employer. Let me now introduce to you our keynote speaker for the night, Daniela Crivanu-Gaeta. Daniela is the Chief Information Officer at Dynacare since 2014. She is also a member of the Board of Governors for Humber College. Before joining Dynacare, she served in various leadership positions at the Hospital for Sick Children. Prior to this, Daniela was the head of the computer department at the County Hospital of Timișoara in Romania. She has also been an associate professor in the Medical Informatics Department at the University of Medicine in Timișoara. She holds a Computer of Science degree in computer science with honors from the Polytechnic University of Timișoara. Daniela has also served as a member of the National Board of Directors of the CIO Association of Canada, a member of the governing body of the CIO Executive Summit, and as a member of the Professional Advisory Committee at the Ted Rogers School of Information Technology Management in Ryerson University. In addition, for 2 consecutive years, Daniela was named as one of Canada's top 25 women of influence by the Women's Executive Network. She has also received the Computer World Premier 100 IT Leader Award in the spring of 2015. She is an incredible woman with a presence that demands respect wherever she goes. I'm yet to meet a person who does not have sky-high regards for the person that she is. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you Daniela.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Diana, for the introductions and the kind words. And thank you, Mina, for inviting me this evening. People often ask me, how did I end up doing what I do today? How did I become who I am today? Well, the answer is, life happened. It is not like I was dreaming about being the leader of an IT department when I was growing up. Nor I was dreaming about working in healthcare. Not even about living in Canada. Frankly, when I was a little girl in Romania, I did not think at all what I wanted to do when I grow up. Not even while in high school did I know what I wanted to do, what profession or career path to take. And you will hear a bit later that I started down one path and ended up on a very different pathway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that you cannot predict the future. In fact, I recently heard a famous economist speaking, and he said that experts could only predict the future 47% of the time. Think about it, 47% of the time. That's actually less than 50% which you get when you flip a coin. Hence, why I never recommend people spend a lot of time trying to predict the future. Rather, I do recommend action. 3 years after graduation, it finally happened. I finally found my passion. I was working for an IT consulting firm, and they just won a contract with the largest hospital in the west part of Romania. The contract was for the development of a software application to track certain clinical data for patients undergoing dialysis. I went to that hospital to gather the requirements and then write the software application. And then, when it happened, I fall in love with the field of IT in healthcare or medical informatics. And that's because I discovered how unstructured, for very good reasons, the medical field is. And I became intrigued about the challenge of marrying the unstructured nature of the medical field with the very structured nature of the computer field. And I knew immediately that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. This was the challenge that I was willing to take on and spare no efforts to address. I think Mark Twain was right when he said, the 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. After finding my passion, I work in IT in healthcare in Romania. I did another degree in medical informatics, and I work on a number of European medical informatics projects with partners in Denmark, Germany, and UK. And then my husband, our 6-year-old son, and myself came to Canada. That was not an easy decision to make, leaving your families, your friends, a known environment, and moving 8,000 kilometers across the ocean to a new country that you only read about but never visited. Leave alone that we came to Canada in December. Do not even ask me why. And who knew that cold in Canada really means cold? And leave alone that we discovered when we landed that only 4 of our 6 luggages arrived. And one of the missing luggages contained most of the clothes for my son. All to say that the first few days in Canada were not exactly the greatest experience ever. But what is one to do in these situations? You either focus on what has happened or you focus on what could happen. I mean, you cannot change the past, but surely you can influence the future. So we proceeded to do all that is required to be done and moving past any inertia and insecurities we had. And things started to happen. including the 2 missing luggages showing up several days later. We rented an apartment, enrolled our son in school, and we proceeded searching for jobs. As Socrates said, the secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. For me, because I knew my passion was medical informatics, I searched and applied for jobs only in healthcare. I do remember clearly many folks, including recruiters, telling me at the time that this was going to be a mistake, as it narrowed my options. Yet, I knew that medical informatics was my passion. I was good at it, and I wanted to be great at it. So I took a leap of faith, although you can say that I trusted also my judgment and abilities. I applied only for IT and healthcare roles, and 2 months after landing in Canada, I started to work at the hospital for sick children, also known as Sick Kids. By the time I left Sick Kids, 15 years and a half after starting to work there, I was their Chief Information Officer. And for the last 2 years, I work at Dynacare, who is a national health solution company with a fantastic vision to be Canada's health and wellness solutions leader, and a fantastic mission to support healthy lives with commitment and care. Before I end, I want to recap some of the key messages I was hinting to during my speech. You can call them Daniela's 6 guiding principles. And they are: find your passion, pursue goals beyond what is required or expected, push past inertia and insecurities, have willingness to step in to fill gaps, trust your judgment and abilities, and stay true to your values. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful speech. Very inspiring. If you had come some years later, you might have come to our .NET Bridging program. And actually, the .NET Bridging program, we're going to have a student success story from that program. This is the program for newly arrived Canadians, permanent residents usually, who are trying to get their foot in the door with .NET technologies, get Canadian experience. And it's very confusing being the associate dean, because I see people like Naveed in the hallways, and I can't figure out whether he's an employer or a teacher or a student. Only because these .NET Bridging students are so accomplished, they have so much great experience that oftentimes when they're in school, they get jobs with employers. And by the time they graduate, they're already working, or they're one of the employers right here in the front row, or they've applied to teach, and I didn't know that they were students, and sometimes they teach in CE. So they're a remarkable group. They overcome huge challenges coming to this country, coming and facing the weather, coming with their families, coming with absolutely no contacts in the industry. Mina has done a wonderful job with Mirga and Ravinder and others over the years. We're now into our 12th cohort. We do about 2 to 3 cohorts a year. We have about 98% employment rates with the students. And I'm just going to let now Naveed take over and tell us about his experience in the .NET and graduating and becoming successful.
Hi, everyone. In 2014, I landed in Canada, and I was so proud of my accomplishments. And I was thinking that within a month, I'm going to get a job. But then after sending my resume for about like 200 different job postings, I realized, oh, there's something wrong over there. There was something wrong with me, or I didn't know what it was. So I started looking for different programs, and I found Humber College, specifically .NET Bridging program, which was fantastic. So why I liked it, it was because a part of it was funded by the government, and then the timing was really good for me. It was less than a year, so I could have enough time to learn, and at the same time go back and find a job. During my study period, I was learning both technical and soft skills, which both of them were very, very important to me. I was so worried in one part of the program, I had no income, And my little amount of saving was finished, was about to finish, telling you the truth. So I talked to our lifeguard, to our professor, Mina Dolwani, and that was the point that she started teaching us some new methods of talking to employers, approaching them. And then from that time, you know, I don't know, I know like it was because of me, because of her, also all the energy all together. I got a job, and I was so surprised, and I was so happy at that time, because it was half of the program, and I had a full-time job. Don't give up. The future is yours. Thank you.